It's now time to play the hottest game show on the internet. Do you know Agatha? You know, there's been a lot of talk about Agatha this week. It seems that she's got her own Disney Plus television show about to start up, and it got me thinking, does kids even know who Agatha is anymore? Well, I thought we'd take it to the streets. Well, by streets, I mean the internet. And we'll ask people out there, do you know Agatha? We'll send a random picture to someone and ask, do they know who this is? We all know it's Agatha, but do they? Let's get started.
It's time to play the hottest game show on the internet. Do you know Agatha? And here's your host, that Junkman.
First, I reached out to my good buddy Russ, who you know from the live stream, Russ and the Junkman, which will be airing this Friday night live instead of Saturday. So let's see if Russ knows who Agatha is. I'm sure he does. He grew up in the 80s. He watched Magnum P.I. Let's see what he had to say. Is it a dude? Come on, Russ. That's the hottest woman in the 80s. That's not a dude. That's Agatha.
And here's a random picture of Agatha because I couldn't find any video of her on the internet.
Are you a fan of the movie Terminator 2? Then you ought to check out the YouTube channel T for Two. This guy knows everything about Terminator 2. He can even tell you who played Sarah Connor. That's a deep dive right there. But does he know who Agatha is? Well, I asked him, and this is what he had to say. He knew she was from Magnum. He didn't know her name was Agatha, so we're only gonna have to give him half a point on that one.
Way to go, T for Two! You know half of the answer to the question, who is Agatha?
We're on a roll now asking everyone if they know who Agatha is. So I reached out to my sister. I said she grew up in the same house with me. She knew I watched Magnum P.I. She had to see Magnum P.I. if I was watching Magnum P.I. She has to know who Agatha is. So I sent her the picture and I asked her, who is this? Do you think she knew? Well, let's find out. She thought it was Ted Danson. Yeah, the guy from Becker. I don't know anyone that watched Becker at the house when we were growing up. Let's go on to another one.
Although I can't award you a picture of Agatha, I can show you a picture of Ted Danson. Here he is. Take a look. Keep looking. That's right, Ted Danson. Right there, on your screen. Look at him. Remember him. That's Becker.
Now this next guy's named Bruce. Don't let the name fool you. He's better known as Jenner Toys. Not Kenner, Jenner Toys. And you see him open a rare yak face just to upset me. Well, do you think he knows who Agatha is? I'm sure he grew up in the 80s. Let's find out.
Oh my God!
Doesn't look like he knows who Agatha is. And he thinks he's Fred Munster. You're way off. Fred Munster isn't hot. Agatha is.
Although you didn't know who Agatha was, I'm still going to show you her picture because I just got to look at her.
His name is Enos, or something like that. I call him Enos, but a lot of people call him Poindexter's Lounge. Great guy, great YouTube channel. Check it out. Do you think he knows who Agatha is? He has to. This guy knows everything about the 80s. Does he know Agatha? Oh, I'm willing to bet a barrel of chips that he does. Let's find out. I'm disappointed. No one knows who Agatha is. Well, one person, but nobody knows the name. Come on, it's Agatha!
Oh, believe me, Junkman, I know who Agatha is. It's probably the hottest woman I ever seen on television. Well, the hottest one after I saw Jane Hathaway.
Now, if there's anybody that knows anything about pop culture in the 80s, it has to be the host of the cool podcast, Mega Potastic. Hope I said that right. I think I did. We had to ask him, hey, do you know who Agatha is? I'm sure he did. Let's find out.
Oh my God!
He thought it was the old lady from the Batman television show. Hey, you're about 20 years off. Let's find another one.
That's not just some lady. That's Agatha.
Now, that's a lot of people that grew up in the 80s. But what about today's generation? Generation Y, or whatever they're calling themselves today. I reached out to my daughter, sent her a picture, and said, do you know who this is? Do you think she knew who Agatha was? Let's see if I'm a good father or a bad father. Why does everybody think Agatha's a man?
Now, I know it's hard to take your eyes off Agatha, but I have to ask, is that Larry Gatlin in the background?
Now there's two things everyone on YouTube loves. One, Phil DeFranco. Two, Matt Jarbo. And being that Phil DeFranco is too popular for me to talk to, I asked Matt Jarbo if he knew who she was. Sent him a picture and said, hey, do you know who this is? You think he did? Let's find out.
Oh my God!
That joke's already been done before, Matt. Get some new material. Ugh.
Sorry, I just had to pull up a picture of Jane Hathaway. Oh, look at her, with that 1920s haircut.
Now you're asking yourself, Junkman, this isn't fair. You're only asking people that watch television. Why don't you reach out to someone else? So I did. I reached out to Walmart over their Twitter account, sent them a picture and said, hey, do you know who this is? Let's check out their response. Well, looks like they didn't want to get directly to the question and just gave us the normal corporate response, right? Well, they did seem like they were at least eager to help. They did ask for some follow-up.
And here's Agatha with her friends Higgins and Thomas Magnum. It looks like they're flying drones. Oh, it looks so much fun. I wish I could do that with Agatha.
Now, growing up watching television in the 80s, in my house, there was one person that loved Magnum P.I. a lot more than I did. And his name was my brother. If there's anyone out there I got faith in that will know who this is by just seeing a photo, it's my brother. So I sent him a text. I said, who is this? And this is what he said. Well, I can kind of translate that and know he means Agatha. And you can see the spelling runs in the family.
Did you know Agatha was trained in the skills of martial arts? Here she is. Yep, a pink belt. What's a pink belt? Well, that's one belt above black belt. And one away from being a ninja.
We're almost to the end. One more person to ask. Hey, do you know Agatha? And I've talked to people that grew up in the 80s. People of this generation, they don't even know what the 80s is. And I've reached out to Walmart. And there's one more I just had to ask. Buffalo Wild Wings, a.k.a. B-Dubs. I had to see, did they know who Agatha was? So I asked them, hey, do you know who this is? Now that's a long reply. Whew. They didn't really answer my question just like Walmart, just gave me the corporate answer. But I don't know about you, but that $9.99 buffalo wings and fries, that sounds like a good deal. Whew.
You ain't no Agatha.
Well, this is the game show that's sweeping across the internet. Do you know Agatha? And it turns out that most people don't know Agatha. Most people think Agatha's a man, even if they think it's Ted Danson or they think it's Herman Munster. Either way, they think it's a dude. No, Agatha's not a dude. Agatha was just a lovely young woman that had a crush on Higgy Baby. But I think we all knew that, right? Who are these people that I talked to? Well, I want to thank you for watching the hottest game show in town. Do you know Agatha? And be careful when you're checking your email, your DMs, or your texts. It might just be me asking, do you know Agatha? Or do you?
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.